That's right, convicted child killer. A jury said he murdered Abby and Libby. Their bodies found practically drained of blood in a remote area near a trestle bridge. He was convicted and now he is back in court citing new evidence that demands a new trial. How is this possible? Well, the first thing he is claiming is all about a guy named Ron Logan. Listen.
There were other names mentioned throughout this long period of time before anyone was in custody. Daniel Nations, Paul Eder, James Chadwell, Keegan Klein, Tony Klein, and of course, Ron Logan. There were 2 searches of his property, too, and he was never arrested or charged with the crime.
Out of all the suspects, the POIs, persons of interest, that police, sheriffs investigated, what's different about Ron Logan? And now Richard Allen comes into court with his fleet of lawyers demanding to be set free, or in the alternative, a new trial because of Ron Logan and 3 other points. So what's so special about Ron Logan? Listen.
Connie Dillman is the ex-girlfriend of Ron Logan. Their 6-year relationship had come to an end by the time of the Delphi murders. Dillman believes Ron Logan is the killer. She says the voice on the tape saying "down the hill" is absolutely him. She also claims that Logan was violent, and when she refused him sex one night, he hit her with a wrench, causing 7 stitches.
Their bodies were found on his property, his house only 1,400 feet away from where the girls were discovered. Logan matched the appearance of the man in the blue jacket walking on the bridge that was captured in Snapchat footage taken by the girls just before they disappeared. Ron Logan was questioned by detectives at length, but police let him go and moved on to other potential suspects.
That's not all. The defense is claiming that Ron Logan confessed to the murders of Abby and Libby. This is nothing new. Listen.
Ron Logan confesses to fellow inmate Ricky Davis that he was walking and talking with the girls about knowing one of their fathers when one of the girls wanted to turn around. Logan grabs Abby's shoulder, causing Libby to freak out, and one of the girls says something about calling the police. Logan asks if they want to see his animals, including horses, and Abby wanted to go. Libby did not. This led to a scuffle, and Logan got hit in the nose, and he pulled out a box cutter and attacked Libby, cutting her throat. Logan said he took Abby somewhere and eventually cut her neck too.
Hours after killing the girls, he came back because he wanted to move Libby to an area where she wouldn't be found. He says he burned his clothes in a burn pit with boots, gloves, and a bag, but feared drops of blood from his nose may have ended up on the girls' clothes.
Lots of inconsistencies with Ron Logan's so-called jailhouse confession with the facts as we know them, and I'm talking about forensic evidence. Straight out to Susan Hendricks joining us, investigative journalist and author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. She was there every single day of testimony. Susan Hendricks. Now, Richard Allen's defense, his fleet of defense attorneys demand freedom or a new trial based on 4 points, the first being Ron Logan. What happened with Ron Logan? Who is this guy? And why do we care? We knew about Ron Logan at the get-go. He was ruled out.
Absolutely, Nancy. It's good to see you. And last night I spoke to, at the time, detective who is a big part of this, Jerry Holman. And he said to me, look, Susan, we investigated Ron Logan excessively, meaning 2 searches of the property. But what is different here is soon after the murders, allegedly, Ron Logan confessed. That's what the defense attorneys are saying. Confessed to someone he was in jail with. He was in jail for 4+ months because he violated probation. And I remember he left court and said, next time I won't have girls murdered on my property, Ron Logan. But he was investigated. He did not do this. The investigators looked into him. Of course, it was on his property. But I go back, Nancy, to Libby's phone when Abby says, we heard it in court, don't leave me up here. Well, then when did she talk about the horses? After that, I believe that evidence on Libby's phone makes it Richard Allen and him putting himself there.
Okay, repeat. very slowly what you just said.
It was Libby's phone. He put himself there, and it lines up with who was on Libby's phone, Bridge Guy. And we saw it in court. And what we did see and was a man approaching on the bridge, coming up behind Abby. And she says, and you could hear it on Libby's cell phone, "Don't leave me up here." And then you see them, you hear the voice,
Well, all of
"Guys,"
that
and you hear
may
kind
be
of a
true,
gun
Susan
down
Hendricks.
there.
In fact, all of that is true. However, the defense is claiming the guy on the bridge is Ron Logan.